Well, howdy. Thank you for joining today's video presentation. I am Arthur Morris. I am loving what is, and I can teach you how to make great photographs of birds. I've been blessed for the past 20 or 30 years or so, traveling North America and the world, making great images of wonderful birds, like this drake king-eider up in Barrow, Alaska. I can teach you when to work tight, when you need to photograph using the tilted rear screen on your camera, and I can teach you when you need to go wide. I can teach you the basics of image design and composition. This black-browed albatross nesting down in the Falklands looked great as a vertical with the chick. Silvery grebe, also in the Falklands, fit perfectly with the nest into a horizontal frame, and then we'll teach you to catch the dramatic moment to be ready when that bird starts screaming. We'll teach you how to take advantage of amazing situations, mirror-like reflections and gorgeous light. For several decades, I struggled at becoming a better flight photographer, this one with Canon. Then I switched to Nikon and did better. Then about 3 years ago, I switched to Sony, this with the A9 II. And right now, I'm all in on Sony with the amazing Alpha 1. I can teach you to see the tight shots and the patterns. This king penguin neck was honored in a Nature's Best contest and hung in the Smithsonian for a year, as did this Japanese red-crowned crane. I still take great delight in photographing the birds down by the lake near my home at Indian Lake Estates, Florida. If you join me in DeSoto in the next 4 to 6 weeks, you are going to learn a ton about photographing birds at the beach. We'll see and photograph several species of gulls. This is a rather rare one. This is a lesser blackback gull, and he's tucked neatly into the right side of the frame. We'll see about half a dozen species of terns. This is a sandwich tern, scratching on a beautiful wet sand background. We'll see lots of tame shorebirds. This is a black-bellied plover, and we'll be able to teach you how to get the right exposure in these low-light, high-key situations. We'll see and photograph 2 species of pelicans, the most common being the young brown pelicans, this one apparently laughing at something funny. And we'll run across some neat stuff on the beach. This beautiful little beach plant growing flat, grabbed the 24 to 105 lens to make the photograph. And we stumbled upon a box crab. The whole group photographed it. And the lesson here, as the surf tosses it around, you have different opportunities. So you want to work a subject, not just take one snap and move along. We will teach you when to work super tight and why, and we'll teach you when to work super wide. Now, in the last 2 videos, we saw lots of the great wading birds, snow egret, great egret, roseate spoonbill, that we'll run across at Fort DeSoto in the fall, but there are lots of other birds. We mentioned a few of the families we'll see, but lots of chances with gulls, terns, and black skimmers. This is a young laughing gull in flight, and the beauty here is the other-than-sky background of a distant marsh. This is a young laughing gull with an adult primary feather, and you'll hear this a few more times in today's video. The best way to improve your photographs at the beach is to get your butt on the ground. Laughing gull trying to grab a fish from probably a 2-year-old brown pelican, and a laughing gull molting into first winter plumage, chasing an adult royal tern that just caught a nice flatfish. Speaking of royal tern, a preening adult here in winter plumage, will teach you how to make juxtaposition images with the preening royal tern on the left in sharp focus and an out of focus bathing skimmer offset nicely to the right. Here, a begging young royal tern approaching mama or papa with a mangrove seed just in the right spot, and a juvenile royal tern catching another flatfish. Lots of action most days. Sandwich tern with the mayonnaise on the tip, this one diving, this one swallowing a bait fish in flight, and there you see that mayonnaise tip to the bill. And here's a sandwich tern jumping after its bath, cropped from a horizontal original. And again, you'll learn more about photographing bathing birds at the beach than you ever thought possible. Here's a young Forster's tern. Note the black eye patch rather than a rear cap. He's soaking, getting ready for a bath. A young common tern. We will teach you why side-to-side perspective is so important. Had I moved left or right here, I'd be a dead duck. and a spectacular image of a young common tern diving after a baitfish. And this one was saved by Topaz, not the world's sharpest image. Topaz Sharpen AI, just magical, and you'll see a link to Topaz in the text below this video. We don't see a lot of Caspian terns, but they're all beautiful. This one on a soft, light day. We'll get lots of chances to create some pleasing blurs. Here's a mixed flock of probably red knots and terns out over the Gulf, and then a big flock of forsters and a few common terns blasting off at North Beach. This is a winter plumaged black skimmer, and we'll be doing lots of photography along the edge of the surf and teaching you how to deal with the breaking waves and wavelets and the foam from breaking waves, how you can use them to improve your photographs rather than ruin them. We should get some chances on skimmers skimming, and again, tons of bathing birds, this skimmer flapping after its bath. Lots of pelicans of two species. One of the main lessons at the beach, get as low as you can, whether that means sitting or lying on the beach or using the rear screen of your camera body, the rear monitor. Lots of flight photography. I love cloudy days because it allows you to create images with incredible and evenly lit underwing detail. Not always possible on a sunny day. And like the gulls, the pelicans, the young pelicans especially, are always doing something neat. This one is scooping up a beakful of greenbacks. With any hope of sunset, we'll stay out at North Beach late to try for some silhouettes. Late September 2020 was the first time I'd ever seen juvenile white pelicans with the brown feathers still on their backs. That was quite exciting, as was photographing some of the adults taking off and in flight. Your shorebird photography will get much better. How do you make shorebirds as art? This flock of red knots with the background of terns was photographed in the pre-dawn light at North Beach. There are lots of young red knots at Fort DeSoto in the fall. This is a beautiful juvenile. Note the black subterminal bands on the feathers of the coverts and the white fringes. A beautiful bird in fresh juvenile plumage. Black-bellied plover looking sleek, photographed at ground level off the tilted rear screen of a Sony body. There are 4 or 5 species of plover, and if we're lucky, we'll get to see and photograph piping plover, this one a juvenile. We'll also have Wilson's plover for sure, semi-palmated plover for sure, snowy plover, and black-bellied. This first winter dunlin was photographed while seated, as was this preening first winter short-billed dowitcher. Again, photographing at the edge of the surf, you can see the retained lesser and greater coverts of this young willet, and note the placement of the breaking wave and the bubbles. And again, we'll have lots of opportunities to photograph birds flapping after the bath. And you'll learn some Photoshop as well. In this image, I clipped the primaries of both wings and did the repair in Photoshop using techniques from AppTats. We get lots of chances on American oyster catchers. This spectacular image made when it decided to go fishing for fresh scallops. This image of an American oyster catcher chasing an adult laughing gull in winter plumage was not the sharpest image I've ever made, but Topaz Sharpen AI saved it beautifully and makes it more than presentable for use on the web and in slide programs. If at all possible, fly down, jive down, join me on one of these 3 trips at Fort DeSoto. Incredible opportunities to learn. Be sure to use the Birds as Art code at checkout at Bedford's. Steve Elkins is a helpful, sweet man and will take care of you. And get free second-day air shipping as well. Be sure to follow the links below to visit my educational blog and subscribe. I think I'm on a streak of 245 days in a row. And take a peek in at birdphotographers.net. Lastly, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel via the link below. We'll be doing lots more. At Fort DeSoto in fall, the living is easy, the birds are tame, and you're going to learn a ton. Now get out there and make some great pictures.